Hello, gorgeous humans. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me today and choosing to spend your precious time with little old me. My name's Ignacia, if you don't already know me, and if you do, I love you. Thank you for taking the time and space to spend time with me. And if you don't know me, welcome. My name is Vanessa. Like I said, I am just but another scintillating spirit like you, roaming this earth, having her human experience today. We are checking in on my 75 sustainable that I established last week. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, you check it out. I'll figure out putting it somewhere on the screen and you can click it and figure out like context of what that is, and you can come back and join me on my update. So essentially something that is, I suppose, integral in 75 Hard is that if you mess up on any of the 5 things that you're committing to doing daily, you automatically reset. And so it's been a week since I recorded / started my 75 Sustainable, and beyond 3 days in a row, I have not maintained. So the clock has been restarting every so often, and I've noticed in particular the habits that I'm having a hard time staying consistent with at this moment is journaling every single day and reading. I feel like some days I'm reading a ton and then other days I forget. Honestly, actually, I've read most of the days. I feel like it was just like 1 or 2 times that I didn't read in this past week. Or no, it was one time I didn't read at all, and it was another time where I didn't read 10 pages. I started to read and then I got distracted with other things in life. And then the journaling, that one's the one that I've been the least consistent of all of my habits. And I noticed within myself, and I don't know if you all can relate, I don't know if you've tried this, and you have actual, and you have hard, the proper, what this all started with, feel free to let me know in the comments what you found the most difficult and how you were able to get over these little humps. But I know that my brain and the way that it works is if the streak, so to speak, is 2 days or something, and I lose it and I have to start over again, I just feel like what's the point, which is a little frustrating. So I'm reflecting on that and challenging those thought processes. Part of me, because the whole point of this is for it to be sustainable for me, wanted to give myself a little bit more grace and compassion and perhaps be like, okay, maybe I allow myself the space to slip up or not fully get to one particular aspect of my days. But the ones that I'm struggling with the most are the ones that I know are going to truly help me the most. Like journaling, I know I'm the best mentally and spiritually and emotionally when I'm journaling every single day and I'm making that space for myself. So I know if I give myself that grace, I'm going to take that grace the most on that specific habit that I know that I need. So I have been allowing it to restart every single time and not judging myself for it, but then also trying to navigate how do I keep myself inspired and accountable to maintaining all 5 of those things every single day. Because at this rate right now, I'm doing 4 for sure consistently. They're not always the same 4. They always kind of switch up. Again, it's just really those 2, reading and journaling. And it's mostly just dependent on how my day is flowing, whether or not I make space for it. So I feel like something that I hope will work in making these things stick for me personally is actually scheduling those things in, because I notice I don't journal every single night. Usually if I don't journal, it's because I got home late or there was something that happened just before bed. And so my initial inclination for journaling was to do it at the end of the day. But if I go out that night, I come home at 2 in the morning, I'm not going to journal. And I'm the worst at getting ready and I procrastinate and I'm always running behind. So it's not necessarily feasible to do it before I leave either. And so I'm thinking of maybe creating a scheduled time to do those particular 2 tasks. Movement, I feel I've been able to allow to flow into my day at different points of the day, and because that is more flexible by nature, I've made it such, because again, ultimately my goal isn't to necessarily get to a specific physical state or performance so much as it's simply to reincorporate movement into my day-to-day. I've been taking time to walk around the city, or I've been entering flow states and doing somatic healing with dance. And those I feel have been easier to flow with my days without me necessarily having to plan them out. So, same thing, water. I've figured out at least 3 of my water bottles a day. And so if it gets to noon and I haven't finished one, I know I need to chug that and then refill type of thing. So that feels a little bit easy. Again, it kind of just flows with the day. What else? Eating intuitively. We've been cooking at home and eating like whole foods. So that has been, and I've been listening to my body, not just when it's hungry, but also because I'm such a slow eater, it becomes really easy to listen to my body and listen for when it's full. So there have been a few dinners where I didn't finish the full meal because as I start to slow down, I realize I can finish this, but I feel like my stomach is going to hurt and it might keep me up later if I try to finish it. And so I'll save it and it ends up becoming lunch or something. Those things I have down pat. It's literally just those 2 things, the journaling and the reading. And again, reading, some days I'm reading like, the goal is 10 pages. Some days I'm reading like 50 pages and I'm just flying through it. And then other days I read like 3. So part of my brain is like, well, if I read 30 on one day and 3 on the next, I feel like some of those extras should flow into the next day. But I don't know, the consistency piece does feel important to me. I do really enjoy when I give myself the space to proper read. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, I guess. So update-wise, today is a new day. We're starting anew again. So if you would like to join me on the 75 Sustainable, and you saw what my version of that looks like, feel free to let me know in the comments because I would love an accountability buddy. I think that's also going to be crucial for me. But I'm thinking of journaling and scheduling my journaling for the mornings, which feels counterintuitive to how I've normally done it in the past. Or perhaps maybe I do evenings every day except for the evenings I know I want to go out. So maybe like Saturday evenings or whatever other evenings I feel that I want to go out, or if I know I have an event in the evening and I don't know if there will be opportunity for the night to continue to flow. For example, maybe I have dinner plans with a friend, but the chances or the opportunity might present itself that we might go and do things after dinner, and that I want to be able to flow and give myself that grace. So perhaps when I know that I'm going to have an evening plan, I can journal in the morning and reflect on that day before, and the next day maybe do reflection on that day. I don't know. We're figuring it out, but I do feel like scheduling those times will help me because, for example, I meditate every single day, and I meditate every single day because I do it in the morning as part of my morning routine. There's dedicated space for it. Same thing with my daily readings. I do tarot readings, which I'll be recording one soon. But yeah, same thing. I always have the space for it because it's always kind of scheduled in already. And so those are habits that I've had stick for quite a long time, and I think it's because I scheduled the time for it. So we're going to see how that works. I'm hopeful that the next update that I will be able to confidently say that I am 7 days into my 75-day, 75 sustainable, because I know that I can do it. That's really not the question. And the whole point is to make it sustainable. So this is part of that process. We're going to see how we can make it a little bit more sustainable for me. I feel like the goals are sustainable. I simply feel like the actual execution and the making space for it can be more intentional so that I can keep it sustainable. Okay, thank you for joining me on this update. Again, if you are interested in doing this with me, please let me know because I would love an accountability buddy. And again, your version of the 75 Sustainable can be different than my version. For example, if journaling isn't something that's your jam necessarily, you might do something else, by all means. But the whole point, for me at least, is to build sustainable and healthy habits that reintroduce movement into my life and reintroduce intentionality with how I am responding and tending to my body. So for me, that's my intuitive eating. That's making sure I'm drinking enough water. And my ADHD brain too, sometimes like I can get to like 4 p.m. and I have had like not really any water or anything to eat, just by virtue of I forget, especially if I'm doing a lot of things. So I really want to be intentional about these things and about listening to and tending to my body. That's my ultimate goal. But yeah, your goals can be different, and that's fine. I think accountability buddies, we don't have to be doing the exact same thing to hold one another accountable. Simply being able to hold space and to encourage one another, I think, would be really helpful. But yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week. And next week, we'll have at least 5 days down. I want to give myself grace because we want to give myself grace. We'll have at least 5 days down. And if it's 7, even better. Okay. Thank you for joining. Besos, beijinhos.